and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
Hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this video update with me. And once again, this is my dearly beloved topic on the beloved. So the path of true love, the beloved union, the illumined twin soul path, if we wish to call it like that. So I want to come today to a different approach, which is how to, all the things and all the veils and all the disillusionment that's a part of this path. Because as you know, I always talk about the highest ideal, which is the service to life. But recently I had this realization, which is something I've always known, but more deeply coming into my physical form, that we're not just here as servants of life, because we're also life itself. And I remember years ago, someone wrote to me, this older man, and he was worshiping, the feminine force of creation, not as an outside worship, but the reverence to it, what it means, and the root level of creation. This is our path. So the path of illumined twin soul is the path of those of us who know the true meaning of the balance of the equal forces in creation. But we also understand that on this human path, on this human ascension path, we're going to have to deal with all that this is not. So we're going to also have to have not just this love and light approach, but all the shadows, all the things, all the veils that are going to come right in front of our face in terms of us getting to know our spiritual maturity and embodying it. So remember, and this person wrote to me, he said, you are the life, you're in life incarnate itself. And this came back to me, this realization that this is who we truly are. But for a lot of people who are following these new age teachings on the twin flame path, there's absolutely such distortion, and on our planet about this, and so many people fall for it. But even that fall is an illusion. It's basically just a soul experience we wanted to move through. Well, a lot of people need that, almost like that hitting a brick wall before you finally realize what's the true nature of us and this purpose. So I've shared with you many times that not everybody probably will resonate with this, because this calling is for those of us who serve at the very root level of creation. So for us to know that, we also need to know what's the difference between the essence, so working with our essence self, which is creation level, is our essence, and then also how do we merge that with our human experience. Basically, this is what we're doing in this path of illumined twin soul, of this union. So a lot of people are talking about it almost like this thing, this person comes into your life and they will trigger you, push all your buttons so you can finally enlighten yourself and all of this. But so very few people talk about this from the perspective of getting to the root level of creation, getting through the separation by experiencing it. Not saying, ooh, there's such a thing that exists as separation, but if you only stay in your vertical self, in your enlightened, your angelic self, whatever you may call it, your illumined self, you stay at the level of your essence self. When we can feel this, and I call this the beloved essence, the beloved energy, the beloved bubble of love, this is what I call it. But we also came here to have a human experience. And I've shared recently with you that the denial of that experience is not getting us anywhere. And a lot of people who witnessed these relationships that felt like they're mirrors, like extreme mirrors of where they are currently in their evolution, even though this might not mean that the embodiment of these two people who meet, sometimes they might still have a clash of wills, their egos will come about, everything will unfold for them to finally dissolve all of this. And this is not the only thing, it's not the only thing that happens. But what happens is this, it's not just about where you are, where another person is, but how you can merge attributes that you've walked in separate paths so far. But when you are starting to more and more, it's like you migrate towards each other. It's like you magnetize each other for a purpose. But for a lot of people who place this ideal of having a special connection, or they say, this is my twin flame, or they must be, or they have an outside approach to what their twin flame is, and they won't live the reality of what is right in front of them, right here, right now, which is a path of the beloved. Everything is, every relationship is, everything you need to witness and experience and integrate on a human level from your essence self. So we talk about here in the nature of integrating the beloved essence within you. And these people, or just one, for some of you might be just one specific person, for some of you might be different people, but they will bring these aspects. And the first thing is how we make love with these aspects within ourselves. So let's say you miss someone, you long for something within someone. Recently, a beautiful friend of mine has shared this, that she always does this. This first question is, what is the experience that was I witnessing with or experiencing with that person that I need to live out first, know how to do that within myself. So making love to life, becoming the lover of life, becoming the life itself. This is what is our next step. And when we shared about this, that there's a harmonization and equalization happening, this balancing out, it's happening at the root level, at the essence self. But how this descends, how this migrates to our human experience, this will again be something that we will witness and experience in our own way, how and where we are in our own soul evolution, in terms of how we are dealing with our human self, how we're integrating our human self. And this might be different for all of us. So it's very important that we start to see on this path everything from inside out, because in the past we still might have had these projections, and that's why I never wanted to go to this approach that there's this ideal and I'm waiting for them, and I stopped living my life. You know, this friend has said to me that someone recently mentioned to her that, oh, they're not moving into relationships because they're just waiting for their twin flame. So you're never having any experience that will evoke and like trigger the things you need to integrate as a part of your beloved essence, as the core of your beloved essence. And this is my approach. And recently I've had a few emails with people waking up to that. So I've seen and witnessed that there is a lot of people awakening from this matrix grid, the ideal of this belief. Basically, it's a belief of this twin soul union, a twin flame ideal match, that how it's supposed to go, having all these standards around it, all these different aspects and degrees to your union, supposed union. But basically, none of it makes sense if you're not really allowing yourself to engage with your human self, to allow the experience and allow life to show you. And I've recently witnessed this myself, that with these things, with loving the human, witnessing the human being life as a human in this form, it's going to be different than what we had as expecting from our ideal, from our higher self. And this is an essence. And if we only come from this vertical approach, we might place such a high standard on our relationships in the human that, the ideal, what I talk to you about, is the sacred union, when the two serve just by being who they are and already magnetizing all life to them by being this life, being the highest aspect of true love. But there's many steps and many layers and many veils of illusion we need to go through in order to embody that. So today I'm talking about those steps rather than just the ideal itself. So the thing is that if you come from this approach that there's this force outside of you, this beloved outside of you, and you never fully bring it in your body, you will always wait for something. And there's a lot of people who say they're waiting for a specific person, they're waiting for them to wake up, they're waiting for this, or they're just never met the person, but they believe there's someone out there, and they just stop engaging with life, they stop creating, and they're just spectating, and they're just waiting and forgetting the power of their life force, which needs to go. So when we start merging with this human aspect, we begin to work with the life force. So our human part says, I welcome the life force in my body. I allow it to move me where I need to go, where I need to be. I've shared this in the previous video, so watch that. It's about becoming the mystic, living this mystical path. And a lot of it is, people sometimes say, if I only knew where this is leading me, then I could make the right choices. But this collective perception about wrong and good or bad, having the choice to choose positively or negatively, and you might choose something that's not for you, it's still this doubt, it's lack of trust. Because in truth, the life force, when it moves you somewhere and you trust that magnetism there, it cannot be wrong. Because I call this the Shekinah life force energy, which is, a lot of us are in this tantric path. This union begins with us first. So when we have that union, the life force guides everything in our life. We just have to trust it. Even though we might still have those experiences, clashes of wills, fighting with someone, ego, things, mirrors, they will still come out because they're a part of us. And not everyone has chosen to walk this path of merging spirit and matter, becoming the enlightened human. They're still human. But we're creating this new human race. We're creating this new template. And it begins with this inner union. So that's why this topic became so popular, of the twin flames and all, because everybody in truth, they're searching for becoming the template, the embodiment of true divine love in union. And then witnessing this and experiencing with another will bring us challenges that just ourselves we cannot experience. That's where they will draw deeper things from us. They will drag things out of us that sometimes we don't even know and or aware that we might have. Okay. I hope there's not an animal here somewhere under the leaves. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to say that it's really important first to get to the root, to embrace our human experience, like who we are at the very level of what the human means. So we got to ask ourselves some crucial questions. What does it mean to be human? A lot of us who come here from the vertical realms, serving the worlds of creation, we already know divine love. For a lot of you, you already mastered the art of unity consciousness, to be a servant of unity consciousness, but now we're moving into this, embracing the human, not moving somewhere away, not denying, not running away. People call this the runner syndrome. Well, basically, it's just a negation of the human experience. And sometimes people fear in losing themselves in the union, losing their identity, but it's the losing of yourself that makes you surrender and basically become who you truly are as an essence. So integrating that essence on the level that is also the merging. It's not just this or that. The higher people sometimes say, I'm connecting with my higher self, you know, and I'm having these visions and all of that, but they don't know how to merge. They don't live the awareness that they are already their higher self. They're already in union with the self, so they don't have to live it as this being giving them guidance or outside of, you know, it's already in you. The life force is now within you. I've shared this with you. Those of you who are in this path, you already are now harnessing your life force, and it's always for the greater good when you trust it. When you don't, you will feel like these clashes. And sometimes we might have on this path this inner dialogues that will be playing out. And I witnessed this within myself. A part of you, it's elevated and wants to have the human experience and wants to also fail, not just succeed, but you also want to witness these sides of polarity so you can merge them, so you can embrace them all with love. Because the part of you that's this shield, this constant protector, which causes control to happen, this part will always want to basically have its own way. So it will say, no, 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 we gotta go this way, or no, 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 you know, this cannot happen, or you're not gonna have this experience. Well, the inner child, which is basically what we're elevating in our ascension, is the creation aspect, which is the creation itself, life itself, the inner child, the birth of who we are. And as we're elevating it, we need to allow it to have its voice. Even if we say, ooh, that's very immature, or that's a bad choice, whatever it is, we need to allow the conversation. Sometimes we have these dialogues, and you're sure you're witnessing this within yourself. Just allow this to play out. See what it can create in union, what these aspects have to say to each other. Like your inner child wants something, but your higher protection shield might say something else. So there's the higher self you might perceive as something higher out there. It can cause this pressure, and also this waiting for the right person, or waiting for the right twin flame, or whatever it is. It creates so much pressure. Then you will prevent yourself from mastering yourself, because the mastery of the self is always you. It's always the crucial component. Even in the twin soul union, the first is your own mastery within it. You can have union, but there will never be a full unification of two coming together on all levels. Not just saying we feel each other, we magnetize each other, but on all levels. Can you live together? Can you move through life with all these challenges? How can you cope with the outer reality? Can you do that as masters? So first, it's inner mastery, so the two masters of the self can create a third energy also, producing just mastery. There's these beautiful oracle cards. They're called the Lover's Tarot. And these cards have these stories of ancient lovers and many different archetypes, like Eros, Venus, I don't know, Cupid, Psyche, and all these characters. And a lot of them always show this, how the lovers, they had the love, but they also needed to go through challenges so they can strengthen the love. And if you have the love in union, your love will not dissolve. Even sometimes the life force might take you somewhere else, but the love will not just stay and remain, the love will magnify, it will deepen. With this being who represents such a big mirror and reflection of yours, they will magnify, the love will magnetize and magnify. So it's very important. It's just weird things today happening outside in nature. It's very important that we witness, we experience the love. We need to allow life as love to happen, to experience it, and then love will birth everything else. Everything will come, but we need to trust. That's the topic of today. Don't allow yourself to deny these aspects. When shadow comes out, we have to unveil all these things, and then just live it. Okay, I have to go. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. So much love, wisdom, and power. I hope this was helpful. I'm sure it was for some of you. Bye-bye. So you know how many times people who are talking about relating to another, they say, wow, you know, they don't want me, they're running from me, they don't want me to love them. You know, there's a part of us, in all of us, that wants to say so many times, why don't you let me love you? Just let me love you. And basically, when we ever say that to another person, we're actually saying it to ourselves. We're saying to our human part, it wants to love. The human part of us is saying, please, let me love. Let me love as a human as well. You already know divine love. You are. It's not separate. You know, human love is not separate from divine love. It's unified completely and totally, and we're doing it. So whenever you feel that rush of saying that to another, just say it to yourself first. I let myself love. I am life. I engage with life, but I am life because I am life. And I serve life and life serves me. And I don't need any boundaries, or the protection is there. It can dissolve now, you know, it served its purpose when we were still mastering ourselves. But the moment you are ready to regain your life force and become a complete master of your sovereignty and your choices and love that you're making, just let your love be heard, let yourself love. And it's really a freeing experience. Our human wants to love, and you know, people say twin soul love is love, soul love, it's soul level love. No, it's also human love. It's all love. Twin soul is love on all levels. It's love of creation. Love is creation is soul, and it's also human. It's what we created, so it's love on all levels. Don't forget that. Okay, that was what I really wanted to share with you from the bottom of my heart. And I just wanted to say, you know, we really have to meet each other halfway. We really have to do that conscious merge. And the merge, this thing, what I'm creating here with the two leaves coming together in unison, in sacred partnership, they're creating this bubble of love. And the bubble of love, the bubble is the bubble of union. And this is alchemy. This is pure alchemy. So whenever this third energy is created, this becomes chemistry. You know, you can even see two faces, you know, female, male. And these two, when they come together, they're creating, and this space for new creation will produce things also on our human level. We might do different projects then, or, you know, it's not just human physical birth of a child, but many things will be conceived from that union. So a lot of the people who are now coming together, they're not coming together and then fully staying all the time, because we're still adjusting to the intensity of this bubble of love, of this essence level merging with our integrated human. So it's happening for a lot of people. They're choosing to do it in stages and integrating. For a lot of the cases, the male version in the human form can be a little more descended. They're choosing more the fallen perspective, and they're starting to rise up again, you know, the divine masculine with the rise of our feminine. That is why we really are doing this dance in cosmic union as one. But like I said, we have to dismiss the sense of being responsible for each other. We're only sharing within the union of the sacred bubble space, but we're not responsible. The growth that occurs, the blossoming, the nurturing, you know, of our true sense of our human and in our cosmic self, we're both. We're cosmic and we're human. So this needs to come through each and every one of us first in our own template, how we actually integrate that within ourselves. So this bubble is the sacredness of all. It's what it represents, the yin and the yang, the dance of the two, you know, dancing together. So it's my beautiful invitation for all of us to not just witness this, but experience and integrate as well as we're dancing this beautiful dance and the earthly ascension, and also the ascension and multidimensional nature. So take care, and as always, much love, wisdom, and power.